So this here is my OpenTX settings. The one is to program the 12 encoder, and the one is where I normally used it with special features on the indicators. So the mode for this, just so that maybe it's, if you're having trouble your side, you know what to change this to. It is on this mode, RTAE and mode 4. So what I needed to do here, okay, so let's go to channel, so 1, 2, 3. See, channel 3 is what I used for prop 3 for 12 mode encoder. So to get those 12 modes, I use these values. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, plus and minus. And then 0 is your point where the sound unit knows that you don't want to do anything. So if it's anything except for 0, it activates the sound files, activates these positions here, because you can say it's the first coder 12 key positions, position 1 to 12. So for each position there's each set of resistance that activates the position on this thing. So each of these clicks from 1 to 12 that would have been used by this is digitally made by changing the values on channel 3 between 0 and 100 and 0 and minus 100. So what I use this, just to make it all much simpler, is I use this curve here. So if you look at the values that I had, it was 90, 75, 45, 60 as well, and then 13 and 50, 30 and 15 and so on. So here's 3, and then I just invert the curve. So let's just say where, oh yeah, so I9 using curve 9 and using SB's weight to activate it. So SB activates this 3 positions. So it's SB up, SB 0, SB down, that toggle switch. And then on mixes I use that, and I just give another switch to activate it either as a minus or a positive. Oh wait, yeah, this activates the whole thing, not just minus positive. D down, SD down activates this curve but in 100, and then SC down activates this curve but in minus 100. So that means it will be minus 75, minus 75, 40, 60, and if you flip it around using SC, then obviously it will be plus 75, minus 45, minus 60. Then you already have 6 of the modes, 6 of the resistance points. So if you look at this one here, there's 75, 45 and 60. So these 3 on both sides has been used, and it's only left 30, 15, 15, 30 and 90. And the 190 I don't use because I don't use all 12, only 11. So 90 or minus 90 I use for headlights, 15 I use for indicators, and 30 I think was used for the volume up. Okay, so the main 3 or 6 are used making this curve. The other 3 is this one here, so that's 90, and that's to activate headlights using L3, and L3 is when both buttons are pressed down at the same time. Then the indicators, where do you see this? Let's go see how this is for rudder weight. Okay, so that means if you turn left, turn right, then activates curve 10. So here we go. So that's 15 and 15, minus 15 plus 15. This is just for programming. This one here replaces this, but to cancel out some of the problems I had when I was using this basic curve for indicators. But anyways, that's just to show how you get those. So let's just say, okay, so SB is those 3 values from the curve. So that's like the 75, 60, 45. So that's, for instance, 70, 45, 60, or if this is 60, that will be 45, and this be 75. So that changes those 3. But because none of these are down, it won't activate anything on channel 3. So if you, for instance, check here, SC is minus. So there you go. Let's just change this. So there's 75, 45, and 60. And if you put this one down, it's 60, 45, 75. So you will see this minus 75. This one down, plus 75. This one is minus 45, plus 45. This one down, minus 60, plus 60. So those are already 6 of the encoders. And then this one is 1, and this one is 1, and this is 1, and this is 1. Don't know why this is activated, not activated yet. Let's just go to this one. So there you go. That's for volume up, volume down. That activates those ones. And then these ones are the basic ones. So for instance, you'll be able to decide where you want to start, here or here. And then once you're in program mode with your sound unit, and you, let's say you want to start here, then you just set your remote to remind you when it's switched on that SB has to be down. Then you could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can start here and have it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you could have it here or here, and you can start this side 1, 2, then just have to remember whichever way you did it, and then you go through this one from 1 to 6 using 1, 2, 3, down, 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 and then it's, for instance, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then together 11. But that obviously you'll have to do manually on the remote, or these buttons will be physical, so you could use your fingers to switch those two instantly together, so it activates minus 90 or plus 90, whichever that is. So that is what I used for the 12 mode encoder to activate all the different values from 1 to 11. So remember to use blink to program 1 to 12 encoders, and then to use 1 after you've programmed this. Only difference between these two is, like I said, functions for indicators. So this means For instance, if I turn right, it stays on that value there on channel 3, and if I change left, it stays on that value. That's the only difference. But problem with this is it doesn't work for the indicators, because it switches it on and then it stays on and you have to switch it off. So because this is blink instead of it having flash, not flash, double blink, or how was it? I think it's on off maybe. No, not on off. Where's the other feature that it has? I think it should have had blink on off, for instance, so that if you push in the button it blinks, if you let go of the button it stops. But now on the 1 and 2, as you can see, there's only on and there's only on off, and there's only blink. So I've never tried. Let's see if maybe there's an option here. So maybe if you do something like this, you say A1 is on off, and on this side blink. I don't know if that maybe can solve the problem. Maybe you have to put it A1 on off, and then on this side A1 blink. So you guys can try this, see if that works. But yeah, I haven't thought of that, so I've never tried that. But basically, if it's just on this mode, A1 blink, then it means each time the encoder is activated for that value 8, it switches on blink, but then it leaves on blink. So like I said, it has to be on and off, where you want it to be on, and when it gets back to 0 it has to be off. So to create that effect, I created all of this on that functions. Let's see. So there you see it flashes twice, 1, 2, and I first had it to flash once and then on the way back flash twice. But then the problem was, if you turned halfway and let go, you would never reach that double flash that was activated only when you steered 100%. So eventually I came up with this programming, and I also added a delay to the middle point, because for some reason, if the second activation was before center point, it confused the reliability of it sensing this input. So yeah, that's the only difference. And this I created with using these logical switches with timers and delays and things like that. And this was the one that worked the best so far. So yeah, if you would use this mode to program, and you would go programming 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 5, 6, and then 7, 8 for instance, and then 9, and let go, it will register 9 and 10 as the same value, because you would be going 9, and as it's going back it will register the same value. So it will overwrite 9 and 10 and make it one thing, and it will just confuse the whole thing, and then you would be 11, 12, and then 11, 12 will also be one value. So that's why you need to use this one for the programming, and then this one is the practical use of all the same features on that one. Okay, so let me just explain a problem you guys might have. My radio settings is this and this. Yours might be different, for instance like this, and that would mean that as soon as you copy the model over to your transmitter, then it won't match according to how it's supposed to behave, like how I set it up. So to fix this, you guys have to create like a blank model. And then go to inputs and mixes and match the two. So here's rudder first, there's rudder first. Then this one must be second, matching that one, and then third, fourth. So they will see matching here, matching here. So what you need to do now is you need to go to simulate. Then you have to check, okay, what does this one do? Okay, so left side steering moves channel 1. So which means go to first one, change that to LS for left side steering. So it changes that there. Then you go back, test something else. You say, okay, what does this do? Left side throttle changes channel 3. So you go to channel 3, third one, call this one left side steering. Then you go back to here, test this side, right side steering, channel 2. So second one, call that right side steering. Then you go back and you check this one, yeah, fourth one left, so this one will be right side throttle. So once you have this, then you can correct everything on this side. So then you open this one, then you go to, let's see, okay, so this side here, so you say it says RS. Okay, first you have to match the inputs. So let's go to this one, so rudder here, rudder, left steering, so this one you change to left steering. Then throttle, this one's throttle, oh, come on. Okay, so this one needed to be left throttle, so throttle, left throttle. Then this one is right steering, so you have to change this to right steering. And then elevator, right throttle, right throttle, so this is all good. Now you go to this one, and here it says it's supposed to be RS, so you need to change this one also to RS to match that RS. And then this one, left throttle, those are all good. And then the other channels we don't use. So after you've done this, then the model will behave like it was supposed to. This side steering, this side throttle. And then you also have to do the same with this program one, even though you're not really gonna need it, but just so that it matches for in case. Then you just do the same thing. So this side rudder must be left steering, throttle matches. This one has to be right steering, and then this one matches, and in the same here you just change these two to match, RS to match RS, and these are all good, and the rest we don't use. So then you can leave this model, this one, you can rename, and then you can use this as a reference every time you maybe copy something that I saved and upload it from YouTube. Then you know how to fix that in order to match the new models that's coming in. So just remember then, first match input and then you match mixes.